Hi everyone, since we're going to be using a couple features in the discussion area, I was going to do a quick tutorial for you guys so you know what you can do with this feature and the amount of information you actually have with it. So I have already brought us up to your math class, college algebra, and in the discussions, which you can find under activities. So it's right here. If you click that, it brings you back to this page. If you scroll down, I'm going to use the supplemental instructor area. Right now we do have a discussion open for one this first week, which actually ends this Tuesday or Monday, all the assignments end, and week 2. So I'm going to open this up, and I'm not actually going to post a new thread, but I'm going to start a new one so that way we can play around with this a little bit and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So of course you'll put in your subject line, and then you'll have 3 little dots over here, and if you click on those, you go to this funky looking E. We'll click down, and graphical equation is what we're going to be using. Don't use chemistry, MathML, or LaTeX. These you can still click on them and use them, but they're not useful for this class. We want to use graphical equations. That's what we're going to be working on this semester. So we click there. Now I'll open up this screen here. Now to go through just a little bit of things, these are good functions for your writing your equations out. You have your plus or minus, which you can also use your keyboard for. So minus sign, equal sign, plus sign, and I didn't have to click anywhere up here. Now, in order to get the most out of this section, you want to be able to basically rewrite the equation you are using exactly from either the book or the homework into here. So if it has a slant, use that. If it has an up and down, use that. And it'll open up these different boxes for you. If you don't want that, you just delete and it goes away. Now the other features that we'll be using are, your greater than or less than signs. You won't use these very often. These are going to be helpful for like if we're doing matrices later in the semester and you want to write out like exactly your process and get help on it. Different lettering here, we won't really use all this. If you want to use like the cursive ones, you hit this little arrow, and it'll bring up the uppercase and the lowercase. I prefer not to use this area, only because you can simply type your letters. And you won't have to do individual clicking, which is great. I have a laptop, so the less I have to do with my little mouse pad in front of me is fantastic. You'll get into these a little later in the semester, so that's 5 tabs down. We'll be using these guys. You can also use these guys on some of your equations. And then you have all sorts of different positioning. Now, we won't really be using these ones over here. We will be using these ones. So all of these right here. These guys are really helpful. It puts that extra box, so like if you have an x sub 2, you don't forget about the 2. You could also, if you already have the x here, we can go, well, I went backwards, I'm sorry. I'm just habit of using this front screen. You can click it and it already will have the x here, and you just type the 2 and it'll automatically go in that spot. So there's that, and then these ones become helpful later in the semester. Some of these might be helpful, but I don't use these a lot. So I'm just showing you guys things that I use on a frequent basis that'll help you know where these are. These ones we won't use, and these guys we won't be using this semester either. So I highly suggest to play around with this feature. You can change the colors, you can bold everything. There's so many different ways to go about it. Definitely take some time and learn and play around with it. Like just type random equations and see if you can mimic what's in the book to a T. So that's the whole purpose of it, is like mimicking it as best as possible, where you can take an equation from the book and use it right here in the middle. So like I said, I'm not actually going to post anything today using that feature. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little like sort of tutorial thing of there's so many different options in there. You can use so many different areas. There's different ways of doing things. We just want to make sure that when we're using features in that little segment for your discussions, that in order to keep everything sort of streamlined for all of your classmates, so that way they can either help you out or respond to it or answer it for you, you are using the correct equation setup. So that way, you don't incorrectly say one thing in the equation and then they're answering it in response to the way that you put it in. So just a little thing for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, or later in the semester it will be a tool that I'm using to post equation solutions and helpful hints. So if you have questions about how I'm getting to something or how I'm putting that in, I can make another one of these little videos and show you guys exactly what I'm doing to make that equation. But good luck. Welcome almost to week 2. We're rounding up week 1, so have fun.